The Election Commission (EC) will hold a special meeting this Wednesday to discuss important dates for the upcoming state elections. This follows the dissolution of 6 state assemblies, namely Selangor, Penang, Negeri Sembilan, Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. EC Secretary Dato' Ikmaluddin Ishak in a statement said it is scheduled to announce the date for the issuing of the election writ, nomination day, early voting day, polling day and the electoral roll to be used. A press conference will be held after the special meeting. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing is expected to clarify the recent incident at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA at this week's cabinet meeting. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi says he will also discuss the matter with Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution as the Immigration Department falls under the latter's purview.
Permasalahan yang begini saya fikir boleh diselesaikan dengan cara yang baik melalui sistem pentadbiran yang ada, dan hari Rabu nanti kita akan bawa perkara ini ke kabinet ya, dan sudah pasti beliau akan menjelaskan duduk perkara ini di dalam mesyuarat kabinet nanti ya.
Last week, Tiong defended a Chinese national who was detained by immigration officers at KLIA. He claimed the officers demanded a sum of money to secure the traveller's release from detention and permission to enter Malaysia. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, has said it would launch an investigation into allegations of corruption.
Following his surprise visit to KLIA yesterday, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim says he is satisfied with the overall performance of the immigration staff. He says his visit was aimed at raising the credibility and integrity of the Immigration Department, which has faced public criticism.
Tentunya saya lihat umpamanya semua kaunter immigration berfungsi. Maknanya majority staff immigration menjalankan tugas dengan baik. Tetapi seperti mana juga kita sedar dan sering saya tekankan, ada kelumpulan kecil yang masih biasa dengan sistem dan amalan yang lama. Saya percaya hal itu hal bidang kuasa SPRM yang harus bertindak. Selalu kita sebut inilah titik rosak sebelanga. Saya pergi untuk beri jaminan bahawa sebenarnya tidak wajar kita memberi gambaran persepsi secara umum bahawa ada kerusakan dalam immigration.
3 civil society groups have taken legal action against Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa and the government for declassifying liquid nicotine as a scheduled poison. They are seeking a court order to overturn the decision to remove liquid and gel nicotine from regulation under the Poisons Act 1952.
Dr. Zaliha had gazetted an order on March 31st to exempt liquid nicotine, overriding the Poisons Board that unanimously rejected the proposal. She said the move was the government's due process to enable the taxation of e-cigarette and vape liquids containing nicotine. In their filing for a judicial review at the High Court, the Malaysian Council for Tobacco Control, with over 40 organisations, the Malaysian Green Lung Association, and Voice of the Children said the minister had failed in her duty to protect public health by prioritising revenue collection. It also claimed the minister breached the Poisons Act by failing to consult and overriding the Poisons Board. It added that the deregulation of liquid nicotine breached Malaysia's international commitments, including the World Health Organization's Framework Convention on Tobacco Control and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Hearing for the case in the High Court is scheduled for July 26.
The government will offer 4,000 vocational public service vehicle PSV licenses for free to the B40 group. Of that number, Transport Minister Anthony Loke says 3,500 were for e-hailing and taxi drivers, while the remaining 500 were for bus drivers.
According to Loke, the initiative involved an allocation of 2 million ringgit. Beyond helping the B40 group, he said it was introduced to also meet the needs of the transport industry, which was experiencing a shortage of bus drivers.
Kita mengalami kekurangan bas yang cukup besar, kekurangan pemandu bas yang cukup besar di Selangor dan di Lembah Kelang. Bukan sahaja di kalangan syarikat-syarikat pengusaha bas swasta, tetapi di kalangan pengusaha bas yang dilaksanakan oleh kerajaan pun kita mengalami kekurangan yang cukup besar. Umpamanya di bawah prasarana, bas-bas Rapid KL tidak cukup pemandu pada hari ini. Kita mempunyai lebih kurang 1,700 bas, tetapi setiap hari yang kita boleh beroperasi tidak sampai 1,000 bas.
Another 4 victims from the Jeram Air Puteh water surge were recovered, bringing the total to 6 out of the 10 who were swept away by raging waters on Saturday. All the bodies were found between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. today, either between tree branches, floating in the water or by the riverbank. Among the dead were children aged 4, 6 and 10. Terengganu Police Chief Datuk Mazli Mazlan said search operations would resume tomorrow to recover the remaining 4 victims who are still missing. The 10 individuals were having a picnic at the Jeram Air Puteh waterfall when they were swept away by a water surge phenomenon on Saturday. The group consisted of 9 individuals from one family from Kuantan, Pahang and a man from Batu Pahat, Johor, who was engaged to a family member. Artificial intelligence's capabilities have grown leaps and bounds since the start of the year. It is crucial to educate the younger generation about its applications and advantages. Anuthara Sirisena, a chemistry teacher and the winner of the Malaysia Teacher Prize Award 2022, shares her journey of integrating AI into the classroom for her coding and robotics program.
When we talk about AI itself, it's a huge concept and topic. However, to make it simplified and easy, what we do in our center is we allow kids to learn machine learning, which is the easiest way to do it in robotics and coding. Students actually are very engaged when it comes to robotics and coding, especially when it is related to AI, because it's something very interesting, sparks a lot of interest among these young kids. And to keep this accessible, there will be many challenges. In fact, we faced quite a number of challenges, especially when we talk about resources. We talk about internet connectivity. We talked about a device. We talked about prior knowledge and skills, which many adults think kids should have prerequisite to learning coding and programming, especially when AI is related. Hence, what we do here in Tandem Innovation Center and in Pedalaman is that we find options that work for them. For example, there are always offline ways of learning, offline means of learning coding and robotic, and how we can actually teach kids skills that may not necessarily require expensive devices.
We'll go for a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Adakah anda masih menggunakan Astro Box yang lama? Pelanggan Astro kini ditawarkan untuk penukaran ke box Astro Baharu secara percuma. Dengan Astro Baharu, stream bila-bila masa walaupun ketika hujan. Hubungi kami untuk maklumat lanjut hari ini.
Israel has launched a large-scale military offensive into the West Bank city of Jenin, its biggest military operation in the Palestinian territory in years. Palestinian officials say that 8 of their people have been killed and more than 50 wounded, some of whom are in critical condition.
Residents said Israel launched at least 10 air attacks in Jenin overnight on Monday, targeting the refugee camp. A convoy of dozens of armored vehicles also surrounded the refugee camp, leading to gun battles on the streets. The Israel Defense Forces said they were striking terrorist infrastructure in the Jenin area. The attacks on Monday came amid escalating violence in the West Bank, including the first Israeli drone assault in the area since 2006, as well as increasing military raids on Jenin and northern occupied Palestinian territories.
Riots in France appear to be calming after 5 days of violent protests in response to the shooting of a teenager during a police traffic stop. More than 150 people were arrested on Sunday night, down from more than 700 the night before. Mayors have called on people to gather outside town halls to protest against widespread violence and looting.
In recent days, there have been many calls for an end to the violence, including from the family of Nail M, the 17-year-old youth who was shot dead by police in the suburb of Nanterre last week. His family said they did not want his death to spark riots, but insisted that the law on lethal force in traffic stops must be changed. France has been rocked by a wave of protests following the death of Nail, who was of Algerian descent. The teenager's death has reignited a debate about policing in France's marginalized communities and raised questions about whether race was a factor in his death. According to the French Interior Ministry, a firefighter died on Sunday while trying to put out a fire after several cars were set alight.
4 people were injured when an explosion tore through a building in downtown Tokyo today. Video footage showed flames through the windows of the shattered second floor of the building located in the busy Shinbashi area. The cause of the blast was not immediately clear, but witnesses said they smelled gas before hearing the explosion. The area where the blast occurred is close to a train station and is full of bars and restaurants popular with office workers. A Thai elephant given to Sri Lanka in 2001 has returned to its birthplace for medical treatment following allegations of abuse while living at a Buddhist temple. The elephant, known as Muturaja in Sri Lanka or Saksuring in Thailand, arrived in its native land on Sunday on a cargo plane.
The elephant, weighing 4,000 kilograms, was airlifted to Chiang Mai in a specially built steel cage, accompanied by 4 Thai handlers and a Sri Lankan zookeeper. It will undergo hydrotherapy to treat an injury on its front left leg. In 2001, the Thai royal family gifted 3 elephants, including Muturaja, to Sri Lanka's government to be trained as carriers of religious relics. But Bangkok had demanded the return of the animal after its ambassador to Sri Lanka found it to be in poor health during a visit last year. Animal rights groups allege it was made to work with a logging crew in the temple and developed a stiff leg from a long-neglected injury. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister said he had formally apologized to the Thai king during a visit there in May.
That wraps up AWANI Tonight. I'm Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching and good night.